During summer 2014, our team traveled to the region of Krajina, the northwest border of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Our journey was meant to follow downstream the river Una, documenting the beauty of the natural landscapes and the rich heritage of this area of the Balkans. 10 days, 100 kilometers, camping, filming, photographing, and collecting as much data and info as we could on our way. Our starting point was not far from the springs of Una, at the waterfalls of Martin Brod.
Nacionalni park Una je prvi nacionalni park u Federaciji Bosne i Hercegovine i u suštini prvi i najmlađi nacionalni park u Bosni i Hercegovini koji je ustanovljen na temelju međunarodnih standarda, odnosno prema standardima Međunarodne organizacije za zaštitu prirode IUCN. Možemo reći da je nacionalni park Una i najmlađi nacionalni park u Evropi.
The small village where the waterfalls are features also two other interesting sites. The remains of the fort of Rmen. Nowadays, only a lonely crumbling tower is left. Around 10 meters high, it was built between the 14th and the 15th century, and it was the southernmost defense point of the valley. Just across the street stands the recently restored Orthodox Church of Martin Brod, first mentioned in 1498.
Ja sam Bogdan Reljić, rođen sam ovdje u Martinbrodu. Nalazimo se sad momentalno u prostoru manastira Rmlja, crkva koja je posvećena Svetom ocu Nikolaju. Manastir je radila ćerka despota Đorđa Brankovića, Katarina Branković, to je zadužbina njena. Ona je bila udata za jednog celjskog grofa Ulriha II. Imala je 2 sina, djeca su rano umrla, tako da je ona to posvetila toj djeci. Ovaj manastir Rman se nalazi u eparhiji Bihaćko-Petrovačkoj.
Moramo napomenuti da postoji 10 veliki problem, odnosno u Martinbrodu i na rijeci Unac, s obzirom na protok vode, na padove koji su pogodni, imamo od strane elektroenergetskog lobija opasnosti i uvijek interes za izgradnju jedne velike hidrocentrale na ovom području.
All residents of Martinbrod used to live by and with the help of water and its energy. Almost every house in Martinbrod had a stream passing by it, and each of them was served by 1 or even 2 mills. People from the surrounding areas brought their grain here to have it milled into flour. However, with this dam, the quietness and tranquility of these people's lives would be changed dramatically. There has been a lot of fight against this project, as it would devastate the ecosystem and transform the landscape forever. After discovering this, we could not but focus even more firmly on our expedition. We camped there that night, with these thoughts in mind, as we traveled to the lonely castle of Bjelaj. Over the east range of hills above the river stands this fortification, first mentioned in written sources in 1495. It is one of the most ancient settlements, with findings that date back to the Neolithic, the mounds on the hilltop area surrounding it. The castle of Biele fell under the Turkish authority in the 16th century, and then, in 1592, the fort became part of the captaincy of Bihać. Its silent tower and walls still overlook the vast high plains towards Bosanski Petrovac. The reason why we decided to camp during this expedition wasn't just for fun, nor because of technical reasons, which on the contrary actually made many operations complicated. Put aside setting our camp in a different site almost every night, no matter the weather, organizing food and cooking, we also had to carry and recharge our equipment, store on the go the data, and move all this in coordination. Now, this is not to brag about it. There are people, professionals, that do this in Antarctica, we know that. But what we mean to point out is that anybody can go on the same journey as we did, if they have a bit of spirit of adventure. On the hills above the town of Kulonvakov are two forts. Firstly, on the right bank of the river there is Havala. It was built during the 18th century by the Ottomans for securing the newly conquered land, which shows how this area was strategically relevant to them, and how even the older and bigger fort of Ostrovice on the other side of the canyon wasn't deemed to be sufficient to guard the valley. This elder sister castle is first mentioned in the 15th century, but probably its foundation dates back even more. The massive walls, 5 meter wide and over 15 meter high, overlook the river and the town below. Many legends are told of this fort, so if you dare to visit, and it's quite a hike, don't forget to ask the locals about it. Some 20 minutes drive north along the main road and then left into the national park, past the village of Chukovi, you can reach the outstanding location of the waterfalls of Strbački Buk. With its 25 meters of height and 50 meters of width, it's one of the most impressive and visited natural sites in the region. It's a protected area where fishermen come, families enjoy the nature, and rafting experts dare the fierce waters. Here we spent almost an entire day regenerating ourselves in this fresh and peaceful environment. Just 7 kilometers away is the medieval tower of Autošec. This lonely fortification above a hill used to guard the villages in the valley below. The ruins around the tower are the remains of the castle once part of the Ottoman defensive system. It is believed that here the hero of the epic poem Budali Natale was born. Here is a short extract.
Ranjen Tale po tanku jeliku pritisla ga 2 zelena vuka. Kada mu ujo opazi vukove, Bog znavaše izgađati ih čiješe. Spaziše ga 2 zelena vuka, pobjegoše kroz jelovo granje. Ljuto pisnu od Orašca Tale, u planini glasovito viče. Bog te ubio, buljubaša mujo, otkud tebe doniješe vrazi, te poplaši moje posestrme. Ono nisu 2 zelena vuka, već su vile, moje posestreme. U planini bilje sastavile, mogaju mi rane izvideti.
Projekat je financiran od strane Fonda za zaštitu okoliša Federacije Bosne i Hercegovine i on je pod nazivom Divljina i život zvijeri, gdje je fokus bio na istraživanje 3 velike zvijeri u području nacionalnog parka, prije svega medvjeda, vuka i risa. Fokus je u prvom dijelu na istraživanje medvjeda. Obzirom da smo od početka radili na edukaciji kako naših rendžera, tako i lovaca, odnosno lovočuvarske službe iz lovačkog društva Bihać i nas iz uprave, kao rezultat ovog projekta imali smo humano hvatanje medvjeda i to je prvi put u Bosni i Hercegovini da je neko u istoriji uhvatio humano medvjeda, znanstveno ga obradio i označio ga sa GPS ogrlicom.
So, also the fauna. Another precious aspect of this area that would suffer from environmental changes would the dam be built. A chain reaction through the entire ecosystem which would ultimately affect us for sure.
Oj djevojko, Anadolko, budi moja ti. Aj o djevojko, Anadolko, budi moja ti. Ja ću tebi
Towering upon a hill, guarding the entrance to the valley of Bihać, stands the solitary and breathtaking sight. The fort of Sokolac is referred to as Sokol in medieval documents, and only after its fall under Ottoman rule, the name was changed into Sokolac. Many think the name comes from Sokol, falcon, so home of the falcons. But the legend goes that 3 sisters were given 3 castles. Their names were Bika, Vrana and Soka, from which this fort seems to have earned its name. The oldest charter, which mentions Sokol as a royal town, dates back to 1395. It is surprising that anything is still standing, given how many battles this fortress has been witness of during history. To give you an example, in the 1530s, under the captain of Bihać, the city was strongly fortified. However, in 1537, the Ottomans managed to conquer a part of the town all the way to the main tower, which remained unconquered. Part of the local population took shelter inside the walls, but many fled. Attacks continued until 1592, when Hassan Pasha finally managed to break the defense, taking Bihać and Sokol under the Ottoman rule. The latest phase of the restoration and conservation works on the old town and the 15 meters high tower started in 2015, so 1 year after the shooting of this footage. We visited again this location not long ago. It is easier to access now and surely worth visiting. Bihać, the town built upon the river. Home to Illyrian tribes, strategy point for the Roman army, and featuring a tumultuous period in the Middle Ages when it was a free royal town, Bihać has always been the border. Known for its proud people, its vibrant culture, it has been host to some beautiful examples of the multicultural communities of Bosnia. Now, the cathedral has fallen, and so has the synagogue. Only the mosque, built within St. Anthony's Church, still stands.
Nalazimo se u džamiji Fethija u Bihaću, koja je imala burnu prošlost kao što je imao burnu prošlost i grad Bihać. Bila je prva njena namjena crkva Svetog Ante Padovanija i kao takva, kao zgrada crkve, služila je svojoj svrsi sve do dolaska Osmanlija na ove prostore. Padom ključa 1463. godine ovi prostori su potpali pod osmansku upravu, da bi tek nakon 129 godina pao i grad Bihać pod njihovu upravu.
Definitely worth visiting around the town are the Towers History Museum, the cafeterias and the park. As mentioned earlier, Bihać is built upon the banks of Una. We couldn't do without taking a break from the warm summer sun and rest for a while in the shade of the trees. Here life has a rhythm of its own, fast and young like any bigger town, yet relaxed and able to enjoy and appreciate nature as it flows through its very heart. Leaving Bihać behind us, following the river into the canyon again. For the hills above, where only walls of forts are left, reaching up to our special destination.
Na području Bosne i Hercegovine ima negdje preko 300 starih gradova. Od toga u Unsko-Sanskom kantonu ima negdje oko 50 starih gradova. Od tih 50, jedan od najljepših i, tako da kažem, najočuvaniji je stari grad Ostrožac. Pominje se 1286. godine da je vlasništvo knezova hrvatskih Babunjića Blagajski, koji su djelovali i izgradili taj stari grad.
As it was the highlight of our journey, we'd like the images of this fortress speak for a while for themselves. It is a castle where its three main historical periods are all visible and clearly distinct, almost as walking through a gallery of history itself.
Sam dvorac je sagrađen na ostacima osmanske utvrde iz 18. vijeka, a gradili ga je ni manje ni više jedna dama koja se zvala Izabela von Bergs, a bila je rođena Adamović-Čepinska, a njen muž Lothar von Bergs bio je u to vrijeme, dakle krajem 19. i početkom 20. vijeka, okružni načelnik u Bihaću. Sa ovoga napuštenog mjesta, iz ovog, tako reći, već dotrajalog, napuštenog, opljačkanog, porušenog dvorca, možemo povući mreže po cijeloj Europi i povezati ga sa moćnim plemićkim kućama. Dvorac je bio raskošno namješten, a to se da svugdje pročitati, jer su mnogi književnici i poznate ličnosti pohodile Ostrožac. Među njima bih volio da izdvojim samog Josipa Broza Tita, koji je 1942. godine boravio u ovom prelijepom zdanju u pratnji Vladimira Nazora, koji je ujedno jedan od tih koji je ostavio opširne zapise u svom dnevniku s partizanima.
The second main town in the area is Zazin. Built upon the high plain on the northern bank of Una, its municipality is home to centuries-old traditions, festivals and music. Here is an old song which tells of its beauty.
Zazin grade, hej lane, Zazin grade, moj dragane, Zazin grade i tebe mi fale. Das na tebi, hej lane, das na tebi, moj dragane, das na tebi devetera vrata. Sva su vrata, hej lane, sva su vrata, moj dragane, sva su vrata srebrom okovata. a 10. hej lane, a 10. moj dragane, a 10. sva od suhog zlata, a penđeri, hej lane, a penđeri, moj dragane, a penđeri srmom okićeni.
And as coffee, or domaća kafa, is a main cultural aspect in Bosnia, we follow the customs and get really into the traditional merak time, a daily break, while waiting our videos and photos to pass on the hard disk. Near the village of Čoralići, there is a creek called Radetina. Following it upstream through the forest and climbing a bit uphill, we arrived to the remains of the tower. Radetina's watchtower was built to control the entrance to the high plains of Cazin. It was first mentioned as a possession of the famous noble family Kobasic between the 15th and the 16th century. By 1577, the tower was abandoned and came to be under Ottoman rule. The tower has a circular base. It has a diameter of 6 meters and it is 10 meters high. Access to inside the tower today is quite difficult. However, the most interesting feature is to be found below. In fact, under there is a cave in which it is possible to enter. It is believed that once from it there was a secret entrance to the tower, but that this passage collapsed not long ago. The cave is mostly unexplored, and with permission from the Institute for Heritage Protection, we carried a preliminary mapping of the cavity. We mapped its 150 meters in length, finding a small spring of water. It has a narrow cavity covered with beautiful cave formations.
Ok, adesso illumino un po' dietro di te.
Rekli su nam Čoralići doći, rekli su nam Čoralići doći, mame me mame, tri me monta mame, il me mame.
Luckily for us, camping places are not something that is missing in Bosnia. The area that we found was absolutely beautiful, and the owners were so welcoming and helpful that they even let us use their own private barbecue. So we cooked some typical local food, and we had a bit of a party, keeping in mind that we had to wake up early the following morning. The fortress of Stena was our last site to visit on our list. It was built northeast of Czazin on the road to Bosanska Krupa and first mentioned in 1483. Stena was owned by a noble family from Blagaj, and it fell under the Turkish authority in 1575. Because of the frequent attacks and battles, Stena was restructured and rebuilt many times, until it was finally abandoned. However, today this is one of the most preserved castles in the area. It also features a small ethnological museum, where the kind man who guards the entrance to Stena has gathered many traditional antique objects. This journey is an example of what you can see and experience here. We want to show somehow that, sure, museums and expositions are always a fundamental cultural point of reference, but to reach this type of sites, the abandoned ones, the forgotten ones, has all another taste. The experience becomes personal, not guided. The understanding of history is no longer just a curiosity. Rather, the desire for knowledge becomes a necessity.